Strategy number 4, create course content for engagement. For course content creation, I use a 3-step backward process: goal, plan, and checks. To analogize, imagine my students and I are in the Washington, D.C. area, Largo to be exact. If I'm going to take them on a field trip, the first step is to determine a destination, in this case, Glenmont. The second step is to create the most efficient route plan to get my students to the destination. For instance, we could take a bus from Largo to Glenmont, but we risk running into traffic congestion on the interstate. The metro, on the other hand, allows us to bypass traffic congestion. The color-coded minimalistic metro map simplifies route planning. If we want the lowest number of transfers, it is easy to see that we have to take the blue or gray line from Largo to Metro Center, shift to the red line, and get off at Glenmont. The third step is to use a variety of checks to confirm if we are progressing towards the destination according to plan. The metro system map on the train, illuminated LEDs, and the station announcements all provide both visual and audible evidences of progress along the route plan. Similarly, the first step in my content creation process is to establish a clear and concise course goal. The second step is to design the most efficient lesson plan to achieve the course goal. The plan must also include accessible activities to engage students with differing learning styles. The third step is to create a variety of equitable assessments at key points in the plan to conspicuously check if students are on track. In essence, course content, like the metro system, must be designed to be efficient, effective, and convenient for students. Equally important, the plan for getting students to the course goal should be clearly communicated on the first day of class. Boost student engagement with interactivity. PowerPoint has some simple yet effective animation options to enhance engagement. For example, I used the animation in PowerPoint to add interactivity to a celestial running fixed plot. This approach gives students better control of the content compared to scrubbing through a video. Many of my students express satisfaction with being able to move step by step through a solution by clicking a key or swiping on a screen. If some students prefer a video of the solution, they can simply export the presentation as a video. Be sure to point this out. As a general rule, do not use animation just to animate. It can quickly become distracting. Any animation must be purposeful to facilitate learning. Factor worst-case scenario into accessibility options. This pandemic era has also brought about numerous obstacles to learning. Let's take video conferencing, for example. Quality video conferencing requires relatively new devices and high bandwidth. A working family with school-age kids might have broadband internet Wi-Fi access, but when mom and dad are working remotely and the kids are enrolled in online schooling, the Wi-Fi speed could slow down when they are video conferencing at the same time. Then there are the equity issues. Some students might not even own a laptop. They access online learning from their phones using a limited data plan. Ultimately, accessibility options in online learning defeat the purpose if they are not available to some students. Thus, educators must factor worst-case scenario into accessibility options to ensure that all students have an opportunity to utilize course content. For example, captions have proven to enhance student engagement and comprehension of course content, not only for those with hearing challenges or those whose native language is not English, but for all students in general. Students can read the caption while watching the content, especially when in a library or other public setting. However, some educators tend to incorporate closed captions in their content. This gives students the option of turning the closed caption on or off as needed. But what if the media player some students are using doesn't have a closed caption option? These students will not be able to benefit from the closed caption. Personally, I opt for open caption, positioned so that it doesn't obscure vital visual information on the screen. The open caption is burned into the content. Hence, it doesn't significantly increase the video file size. Most importantly, the caption is always visible regardless of media player used. For my caption workflow, I first decide where I want the open caption on the screen. Then I create the content around the caption so that the relevant visual information is not blocked by the caption. During the post-production phase, I copy the video script and paste it into the open caption. I sometimes render two copies of the video, one with the open caption and the other without. Additionally, I can use the unformatted video script as a transcript to further increase content accessibility. Best practice is to use universal design of learning practices that will meet the content accessibility needs of your students. Be sure to utilize accessibility features in your LMS and content creation application. In PowerPoint, for example, if you click on File, Info, Check for Issues, you should see the Check Accessibility option. This feature also provides steps to fix accessibility problems. Create responsive content. Most of us barely notice how most websites fluidly adapt to the screen size of our digital devices. The fact is, these websites were set up to be responsive. In other words, to automatically adapt to the screen size of various digital devices. For in-person classes, our presentations are either projected onto a screen or board or viewed on a large monitor. For online classes, on the other hand, students are accessing our presentations on various digital devices, such as laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Consequently, our course content could appear distorted if it is not responsive. This can be most frustrating for students as they try to learn. I use Adobe Captivate to create responsive course content. This is my app of choice for e-learning content creation because it has functionalities similar to those in PowerPoint. In fact, you can input your PowerPoint presentation seamlessly into Captivate for enhancement. I like to think of Captivate as PowerPoint on steroids. If you're not proficient at creating responsive course content, one workaround is to convert your presentation slides to images. You would lose interactivity with this workaround, but your content will remain intact.